Hello flight simmers, hello viewers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to yet another P3D version 5 full flight video. Today we are again in the FSLabs A319, this time in the Austrian colors. We are carrying the registry Oscar Echo Lima Delta Echo, and this aircraft is around 15 years old, has been delivered. There's the 777 departing, really nice. This aircraft is around 15 years old, has been delivered to Austrian Airlines back in 2006, I think it is. And it is carrying the name of the city of Baku. And it's also pretty nice livery itself, high quality, sort of high definition textures on here, so that's pretty cool. We are currently getting refueled and baggage is coming in right there. Passengers are also getting on the plane, and we are here at Vienna airport. And at the very last gate of this terminal at least, so it will be a bit of an interesting pushback. They are going straight to the fence. That's also one solution to handle it, but we will get a pushback sort of straight back, a little bit like in between here. And then we can taxi out with the left-hand curve. But that will be in due time. Up until then, we need a bit of setup to complete. Today, we are once again checking out new scenery. We are going down to Tel Aviv airport, which has recently been released by Aerosoft. I think it's a pretty cool scenery. I had a brief look at it before. And yeah, so we should be having a high quality scenery here in Vienna, which is the Gaya sim. And then down in Tel Aviv, the Aerosoft scenery. Should both be pretty nice actually. Weather here, as you can see, very beautiful. Beautiful autumn day, and I think it will be pretty similar down in Tel Aviv actually. Alright, so that being said, we're going to jump into the cockpit, do some of the flight preparations, and then we will wait for boarding to complete, and then we can hopefully depart on time. So here we are, current time is 11:13 Zulu, which is 1:15 local time. Scheduled departure time would be for 1:20. I think we won't make that exactly, but that's still fine. And then we will get to Tel Aviv sort of early evening time. I'm not sure what the sunset time in Tel Aviv currently is, but I think we will still be landing during daylight. And yes, other than that, I have found and installed some better cockpit textures for the FSLabs Airbus series. And yeah, it's sort of higher quality resolution stuff now and also down here. What I kind of like, they make this bit of a used look at these buttons, which we hit a lot, especially this one, and then also up here. The external power, you can see a lot of sort of used look on there, which I really like. And I think what they are planning is for the winglet version, which will hopefully come out soon, they will do like a brand new cockpit look. So yeah, a bit of a change. That's kind of cool. I have done some of the setup already, and we have received the performance which I have requested, and we're gonna have a look at this. All in all, we are not too heavy today. It's a 3-hour flight, which is not too crazily long for A319, and also zero fuel weight is at 55 tons, max would be 58.5, so that's still a little bit of margin there. We are once again going out runway 29er, and we will likely use the same interception which we have used on the flight down to Palma de Mallorca. So what I will do is I can set this one up already. So that's basically up 0.1 at flap 1. And then the intersection should be the Alpha 3. Let's see if we can find it. Alpha 2, Alpha 3 Echo, and there's Alpha 3 Whiskey. I think we can go with Alpha 3 Echo, which means we have a runway shift of 400 meters. And speeds of 147. 148 and 152, transition altitude 10,000, and then we will have a flex temperature of 66. So quite a bit of a derate here. I think thrust reduction, acceleration, this can stay at 2100 both. That should be fine. terms of fuel prediction, plenty of fuel on board. Here it says trip time 3 hours and 3 minutes. That's also close to the flight plan. Actually, flight plan is giving us 3 hours and 11 minutes, so it's a bit shorter. Yes, also regarding the departure route, I think we can see that on here. So going out 29er, and then when we reach 1,000 feet, we're going to do a left-hand turn to this waypoint over here, and then sort of down towards the first waypoint, which is down here, Arzen it is, and then we will be off on the route. Yeah, sort of a bit bendy here, but will take us in the right direction eventually. Okay, initial climb 5,000 here at Vienna, and yes, boarding is going on, refueling also. I think we need to get to 11.3 if I'm not mistaken, or 11.1 I think, so it will only take a little bit longer than that. And yes, that's looking good, so let's quickly wait for boarding to complete and then we can continue. Okay, so refueling is completed and just now boarding as well, which is perfect timing. I have in the meantime started the APU. We can put the APU bleed on, and then we can also disconnect the external power. And now I will get rid of the jetway. There we go. And then I believe, no, I haven't sent the fuel report as always. Before I forget, let's do it now. And then there's no other messages, which is good. And now I believe we are good to start with the pushback procedure. So hitting this button, and this should trigger it. Yes, pushback please. Perfect, the truck is coming in. And APU is running, beacons go on. Parking brake is set. We can lock the cockpit door.
Hello Captain, we are ready for pushback.
And let's see, now they should automatically disconnect the ground power. I'm never sure about that. At least it would make sense for them to disconnect it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, just in time.
Looking here.
And the only thing I'm still waiting for is the final load sheet, but maybe it is not coming through if there are not any changes to it, so yeah, we will see. Yeah, I've set up only one pushback, so that one should be it. And thus we are only 3 minutes past our scheduled time. So pretty good, and starting with block time. And there's the message, final load sheets, 116 packs plus 1. So in line with the planned weights. Perfect, we can accept that. And then let's put it like this. Okay, I believe we are good to start the engines, and we will do exactly that. Starting number 2.
My name is Norman.
In the middle.
Okay, it looks like engine number 2 has successfully started, and we will do the same with number 1 like this. Set the parking brakes. I was hoping for some Austrian specific PA announcements, but apparently that's not happening. Maybe I've put in the wrong folder or something like that.
It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times.
And let's save some time here.
If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask
All
towards you to
right.
start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth.
Next up, we
Hold
will
in
need
place with the
the
strap.
flight controls, but we're going to
Pull on
wait
each
for
side to adjust.
engine number 1 to
Put
fully
on
fire
your
up.
own mask before helping
Meantime,
others.
CVRs.
If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat.
Constraints.
Put it over
Unlocking
your head.
gear.
Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together.
Yeah, so right away we can see there's
pull
one
the strap
constraint,
to
which
No
is
adjust.
thrust
205
disconnected.
knots
Do
I
not
have been
inflate
on this
it
waypoint.
inside the aircraft.
But I think that should be fine. That's
When
pretty soon
outside,
after departure
inflate by
anyway.
pulling the toggle.
So
If
it's
it
okay.
fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the
Alrighty,
tube.
engine number
There's a
1
light
is
and
running.
whistle for attracting attention.
APU goes off.
We also carry
APU bleed
flotation
goes
aids
off,
for
and then we
children.
should see PEX 2
Your
and
tray
1
table
come
must
alive
now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open,
like this,
and
and we will
seatbelts
switch
fastened.
off the APU.
We wish you a pleasant flight.
Now trim goes up 0.1.
Left is clear,
Like this,
right is clear.
flaps 1. And yeah, flight controls. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Let me get rid of these messages here. Yeah, they would keep coming up quite a bit. So we are rid of those. Taxi lights. And this goes back to normal. Cool. Alrighty, so we will release the parking brakes. Let's see how this aircraft taxis with the CFM engines. We have seen that on the international aero engines it gets super fast. But these are typically known to be less powerful. But we are taxiing a little bit. Let's put a little bit of power in. Don't want to be too slow here. So compared to the Aerosoft aircrafts, the engine difference in the FSLabs is much more noticeable. In the Aerosoft it was kind of similar on both engine types, which also shows that the FSLabs is just so much more accurately modeled. And I mean, that's cool, so we get a more realistic feeling, also depending on the engine types which we are carrying. Okay, weather system, predictive wind shear. And now it will be just the same taxi route as we had out when we flew out to Palma. And I see aircraft or AI traffic are using this runway, which would even be more convenient for us. But now, since we have all the setup done for runway 29, let's use it. TO config, all green. Yeah, now here the different taxiways merge into one. And there's a Wizz Air A321 coming in. The good thing about it is that we won't have to worry about any AI traffic on runway 29, since they are all busy on this one here. Okay, and there's an TAP Air Portugal A321 Neo or A320 Neo, kind of hard to tell. I think it's A321 Neo. They might be coming our way though, if they are taxiing out for departure. I'm quickly gonna wait here and see what he does. Okay, that should be the cabin ready call.
Hello, it's Norman. Let's cabin secure for takeoff. Thank you.
Perfect. Alright, he's taxiing the other way, so good of us to wait here. Yeah, this is really slow without any power input. So we do need a little bit here. Let's hope there's not any other AI traffic coming, but this seems rather empty. There's a louder A320 coming back from behind there. Okay, coming up on runway 29er, we can put the transponder on, TARA tilt above, and then as there really shouldn't be any aircraft incoming, we can taxi straight ahead. This goes on, this goes to takeoff, strobes go on like that, and we are already in a pretty good takeoff state. Okay, now that was a bit of a sharp turning, so we almost stopped completely. But that's okay, we can work with that. Alrighty, so let's do it. Takeoff all green, we are good to go. This goes to rudder and start the timer. About 50% N1. And let's go check out this new Tel Aviv scenery. Quite excited about that one. Should also be a high quality scenery. So man, flex, SRS and runway. Okay, wind is a little bit from the left, but only at 3 knots, which is really not a lot. V1 and rotates. And we are airborne. Gears coming up. Ooh, very beautiful. Okay, and that's already the left-hand turn coming up. And apparently there are some clouds which we are heading into right now. Oh, that looks stunning. I love these sort of turns which come up really soon after takeoff. And power back to climb mode. There we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt
back up in
whenever you are
just a
seated.
second. Let me level it out first.
End of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time.
And then we should stick to 205 knots until we get to the next
In
waypoint.
just a few moments, we'll commence our
Okay, so
in-flight
flaps up.
service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. All details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can
And
also
sticking to
purchase a selection of hot
205
beverages
knots,
together
pretty
with
much
drinks and
spot
snacks
on.
from the bar. We accept
Perfect.
payments in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we could be of any further
Okay, let's
assistance,
keep this
you
one
just ask us as
going.
we join you in the cabin
I
shortly.
think 370, but I will double check later.
Traffic, traffic.
Now there's a bit of traffic. That was yeah, sort of a parallel takeoff procedure.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust.
Yeah, he is above us. Okay, that would be too close in reality, of course.
Adjust
But
vertical
he's
speed.
climbing and we're
Adjust.
just holding altitude, so it should be fine. Okay, I think it should be clear now.
Clear of conflict.
Alrighty, let's put this autopilot to work and disarm the speed brakes. And now those lights can come off. Let's see the terrain over here. Yeah, Alps would be off to the right hand side, but now we are banking away to the left, so we won't see them today. Cool, and on that note, thanks for joining me on this departure, and I will get back to you in about 3 hours, and I hope you will enjoy the scenics. See you in a bit. Guys, welcome back to the flight deck. Now after 2 hours and 54 minutes of flight time, we are just passing 10,000 feet, so let's put those landing lights on. It is a super interesting approach here into Tel Aviv, since we are still quite a way out. Yeah, so let's keep it on this. You can see the land is roughly 30 or 40 nautical miles away, as is the airport, and we will even circle around to come in to land on runway 30. Still, we are already below 10,000 feet, and that's due to the particular arrival route we are flying. So we are on the Amos 1 Golf arrival, just passing Amos actually, where we need to be below 9,000, and there are a couple of those constraints already earlier, sort of guiding us at the correct altitude all the way down there. Super interesting why they do it. I mean, we could start descending a lot later than that, but apparently that's how it works. And then I think the arrival route itself will also be kind of cool, since yeah, coming in from runway for runway 30, that means we are going to do this sort of circle. And then back there are already some mountains starting, so it will be pretty close to those mountains, and then circling back towards the city. And then into the evening light, which I'm very much looking forward for. I think it's going to be a beautiful arrival. Sun is actually already coming down. We can't see it from here. But here we can see it. So it's getting pretty close to the horizon already. I think once we are on the final approach, it's really just going to be very close to it. So we have already sort of a beautiful evening twilight lighting here. And yes, weather is absolutely beautiful. In fact, let's get a new mater. The last one I took is already a little bit ago, so let's get the current one. But yeah, weather is very, very nice. So we have winds 9 knots at 330, which is pretty much on the nose during landing. Absolutely no clouds inside, perfect visibility. 28 degrees, so very warm. 1015 being the local altimeters. Yeah, it's just gonna be a beautiful summer evening landing, hopefully. Other than that, we had a transition altitude 20,000 feet. I've never seen that before. I was quite surprised that there's any place in the world where they have a higher transition altitude than the US, but apparently they have it here. So yeah, we have been on local altimeters for quite a while now, and seat belts are on. We have received our gate, which is also pretty cool. Will be Charlie 4. It will only be a very short taxi after landing, hopefully, or expectedly. And yeah, so Charlie 4, we will see if that's available. If not, we will just take one in close proximity to this one. Yes, other than this, I'm just thinking about putting a bit of background lighting in here now, as the sun is sort of behind us. Make things appear a little bit nicer, in my opinion. And yeah, over here. All right, auto brakes. I'm gonna set it to low. It's quite a long runway today, so it is in total 3.1 kilometers, and we want to get off very far down on the runway, which is also the only high-speed exit on this runway. Should work out fine. And as we can see here, it seems like aircrafts are departing out of this runway, which is always a good sign. So AI traffic is sort of on the same procedures. And yes, now we are finally coming closer to the land at last. And there is a bit of the city center loading in, and then I think the airport will be back there, if I'm not mistaken. And now take a look at this beautiful reflections on the fuselage here. This, of course, being one of the newer PBR liveries. And that's what it's all about, really. Beautiful sunlight reflections, especially here in this evening sun. Pretty nice, in my opinion. And yes, regarding the arrival once again, so I've set the altitude to 3,200, which is the altitude where we want to intercept the glide slope, the latest. And then from there on, it will be 8.7 miles to go. So yeah, we want to start setting flaps sort of on this final turn towards the initial approach fix. And yeah, that would be kind of cool. Then we should be on a good setup. And here now on the terrain display, we can also see that we are getting quite close to this terrain. And this is reaching up to 3,300 feet. So yeah, we are not even that far away in terms of vertical separation. Okay, the land here, I believe that's just standard ORBX global. I don't think the Africa region is covering this area, although it does cover the Arabian Peninsula. But I'm not quite sure about this part of the world, so I think that's just normal ORBX global. But nevertheless, looks quite cool anyway. Yeah, it's getting a bit dark in the cockpit, but I don't think we need the floodlights, as when we are turning around on the final, then we will have the sun straight into the cockpit, which is also a bit hard to handle actually. In the sim, not as much as in real life, but of course in real life, if you as a pilot have the sun directly in your eyes during final, that's not so nice. But in the sim it's not so bad after all. Alrighty, so now we are closing coming towards the final approach.
Yeah, that's the cabin secure for landing.
That's the cabin call, perfect, thank you. Yeah, so we are in fact pretty close to this terrain, not too far off. Definitely one of the nicer arrival routes which I've flown up to this point. Pretty cool stuff. And there's the sun coming towards the horizon. The aircraft wanted to slow down even more than that, so I kind of put it into manual 210 for a moment. But now as we are coming up towards the final turn, I think we should put it into managed mode. And then it will probably slow down to the green dot speed and not lower than this until we set some flaps. Okay, so for the missed approach procedure, we will climb to eventually 5,000, and then we will just fly out over the ocean with a little bit of a left-hand turn there. So that's pretty straightforward, and out there we of course don't have to worry about any terrains. That's only the case here in this area. Wow, this is amazing. I can't believe they are really flying this in reality, but that's according to the charts, so they pretty much are doing this.
Terrain,
It's stunning.
terrain. Pull up.
Yeah, even some terrain puts.
Terrain,
I'm not
terrain,
at all
terrain,
surprised about that.
Terrain, 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 terrain.
Interesting stuff,
terrain.
really.
Terrain, terrain. Pull
Okay,
up.
let's see, 14 nautical miles to go. Imagine flying this approach with a 747. That would be super cool as well. Okay, anyhow, let's focus on this one now. Yeah, here we can see the go-around procedure. Slightly off to the left and then just out to the ocean. Alright, and there's the skyline all the way back there, and runway is in sight, in fact, not too far to go now. 11 miles. So I will set flap 1, put on the localizer and also the approach mode, as I'm just seeing. That's the glide slope already. Okay, so 5,000 as discussed. And then we can put on some taxi lights and turn-offs as well. They might be quite useful today. And then let's set flaps 2 so we don't speed up any more than we are. Okay, and this can go to arm already. The aircraft is barely slowing down now, but we can do this a little bit with the help of the gear, and that should work. And now let's hope there's no traffic sort of coming onto the runway as we're about to land. There's a bit of an offset again between the sun and the actual reflection. That's typically a well-known Prepare 3D issue with the enhanced atmospherics, but we don't have to worry about that too much right now. Okay, we are 5 miles out, so I'm going to drop the gear. And then any second now we can also set flaps 3. Yeah, about now. And then flaps full. And landing all green. And then I can take the aircraft in just a second. Okay, my aircraft. And let's see. So it seems like the textures are not fully loaded in yet of the airport. I hope this will come in a second. Other than that, it is a beautiful evening approach.
500.
Let's put the logo lights on as well. Now there's still part of the runway not properly loaded in yet.
400.
Seems like loading any textures is not exactly the strength of this airport.
300.
And a quick look outside. But now we should focus on the landing.
200. Minimum.
Continue. Lots of
100.
bugs on the windshield now.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Retard.
10. Retard. 5.
And there we are. Idle reverse. And it seems like the runway textures just change at this point. It's not like they are not loaded in. They are. They just look different. And it's loads of bugs on here. Crazy. Okay, manual braking, idle forward. Sweet. And now we're coming up towards this exit, which I wanted to take. Perfect. Now, first thing I'm going to do is put on the APU. It will be a very short taxi. And let's switch around to nose wheel steering. Beautiful. And the runway and the taxiway textures at least look stunning. So already seems like this is a very, very good scenery. Just cleaning up a bit and trying to figure out the steering as always. So this goes to standby. This can go to disarm. Weather system and predictive wind shear goes off. APU flap should be open. Those go off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly
can
be
stay
leaving their
taxis,
seats for
strokes go off.
safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain
Okay, now I
seated
need to
until
have a
the
quick look at the
fasten
taxi
seatbelt
charts.
sign has
I
been switched
think
off.
we will take a
Portable
left-hand
electronic
turn.
devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your
And always in the
personal
corners,
belongings with
the
you,
aircraft
settling
is
the seat pocket
slowing down
underneath
quite a
the
bit.
seat and in the
Yeah,
overhead
flight time of
pocket.
course, 3
Take
hours
care when opening the
16.
lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today.
Okay, now let's see what gate is available here. So the assigned one was Charlie 4. Small with jetway, perfect. No idea, LL should work. Okay, and now we are, where are we? This is Kilo and Kilo 5. So we will go Kilo 4 and then Kilo, Mike 2. So somewhere down there we will take the right-hand turn. And yes, there's an LL just landed behind us. And then our gate should be in there somewhere. Let's check the brakes, but we only had some very light braking, so that should be fine. APU is running, so let's put, we can wait until the gate. Okay, this should be Mike 2 coming up. It is indeed. Now look at this scenery work back there. That's beautiful. It's simply amazing. Okay, so right-hand turn over here, and then we are just straight into the gate. Now where does this taxi line take us? Yeah, look at this PBR reflections also on the ground here. I mean, the sun is a bit offset, we know about that, but the reflection itself is beautiful. Okay, let's get rid of the turn. Oh, they have been off. Okay, like that. Okay, I hope I'm on the right taxiway now, but it should be fine. And then, yes, Charlie 4 is back there. So, taxi lights go off. I wonder what the pushback procedure for this gate looks like. It's probably not that straightforward. And let's see how good the GSX config is. So I can see the A320 mark. I feel like we need to go further than this. Yes, indeed, they have put us on this one, but here's A320, so yeah, let's go a bit further. Like that, perfect. Alrighty, so parking brakes, APU bleed goes on, and then engine 2 goes off, engine 1 goes off. Clock time 3.5 hours on the spot. Seatbelt signs go on, off, beacons go off. This can stay as it is, and yes, deboarding, perfect.
Great, thank you very much for your hard work today. Your doors are clear to open.
And then let's see what we have in terms of ground connections. GPU air condition as well, it is super warm. Ground shocks are set, so parking brake goes off. And then this one goes on. And APU bleed goes off and APU goes off. Perfect. So that's all the work required from us in the flight deck. Apart from the fact that we need to send off the A-cars. So in now it's 14:54. It's just filled, okay. Sent. Cool. Alright guys, and in this very cool evening mood, I'm gonna say thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed this A319 flight from Vienna over to Tel Aviv. Very cool aircraft, beautiful livery, beautiful scenery, nice sunset setting, so I don't think the sim does get much better than this one. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Take care.